Macca's Guides.
Hey, what's up guys, Mac here, playing Wolfenstein the Old Blood. These are all collectibles, including gold items, letters, and nightmare levels in chapter number 7. The chapter is called Old Town. You will have this kind of mech suit thing near the beginning of the chapter. When you knock down the bridge, you'll have to exit the actual mech. So to do that, you'll use the B button or the circle button on PlayStation, and then to get back in, you use X or square. I don't know why the controls are kind of weird for it, but they are. Anyways, once you kind of shoot the drawbridge, or at the drawbridge, you can do this before shooting it down, you'll want to dive down into the water and look underneath the kind of point where you entered, or you can use the ladder in order to climb down and look underneath the bridge in order to find your first gold piece. And then what you want to do is head back inside of your little mech warrior thing, and you'll need to get through these blue gates. So there's going to be about 4 or 5 of these blue gates in the mission, and the mech is the only way you can get through them, so you want to keep that in mind. As soon as we go through, I'm just going to get out of the mech, and all the enemies are basically on an infinite respawn, so there's not really a point of killing all of them. If you go to the left-hand side and then jump over a small gap in the water, you'll find this crate, and inside you'll find a gold piece. Now, if you missed your jump, just make sure you swim back around and try the jump again. Now, for this next one here, I'm going to kind of advise you to do something slightly different from what I did, but if you do what I did, it's literally almost the same thing. You'll want to make your way across the bridge, kind of forward from where we entered the area. I've taken out some enemies, just to be sure. And if you go to the right-hand side here, we're going to want to jump off the bridge. If you can manage to jump straight onto the dock that I just missed, I recommend you do that. You'll save yourself a lot of headache. But if you do miss, just hop on this little barrel, and then hop onto the boat. And then once you're on the boat in front of me here, just carefully maneuver your way onto the edge of the boat and then jump onto the dock. Now, it looks very, very simple, but for whatever reason, it took me quite a few tries. So it might be a little frustrating for some people to actually get up on this dock if they're not able to make the jump right away. Now, from that collectible, we're going to go for the nightmare level. So what we want to do is just jump into the water and swim underneath this area here. And once we just swim forward, you can click in the stick in order to swim a little bit faster, similar to how the sprint function works in the game. And if we just keep swimming, we will find a little bit of an area here where there's a whole bunch of ammo and guns and armor and whatever you need. And there's actually the bed that triggers the nightmare. So once you kind of get onto the dry part here, just hang around to the left, to the right-hand side rather, and go to the very end. So I'll show you guys the key location. So right on the map where my little green icon is, that's where you can find the key. And then you can find the exit, I believe, in the bottom left-hand corner. And once you exit, obviously, if this is your first time doing the nightmare level, you will unlock an achievement or trophy for each one you do. And then a final one at the very end of the game where you get all of them. Now, from that location, what we're going to want to do is swim kind of back to where we came from. And you'll see this is basically a giant circle with connected by these kind of water canals, all connected back to where we came from. So that jump right in front of me, that little gap, is actually the gap we had to jump to over in order to get collectible number 3. Once we get back up on here, we can leave our mech, or we can get into it and bring it with us. It doesn't really matter, whatever you choose. And now go up here. I'll ignore the enemies for this for simplicity's sake. Again, they're on an infinite respawn, so you'll want to keep that in mind. If you just continue forward and hang around to the left, you'll find this little walkway. And on the left-hand side, there's a ledge with a gold piece. It's number 52. From 52, we're going to go straight for 54 because it's literally right next to it. So just jump down and go into the little boathouse, I think it is. And on the top story, you'll find a small cabinet or shelf with gold collectible number 54. And now we'll go for 53. So jump through the window next to that gold piece. And just walk forward into the wine house, I want to say, with there's a lot of barrels in this area, and you will need to go into this house in order to progress the story anyways. You'll find a gold collectible on the boxes right there, and then on the one desk in this area, you will find your 9th letter. There's also a switch, which you'll need to use in order to help yourself get to the next area, but interacting with that switch doesn't really trigger anything that you can't come back to. So you'll want to keep that in mind. But once we do trigger that switch, we can now progress through to the next blue door into the next area with our mech or our robot. And we'll descend or climb off of it. And as soon as we come through that door, if you turn to your left-hand side, you'll see a small staircase with a red door to a building that's wide open. If you look at the back of this area next to a couch, you'll be able to find gold collectible. Now from there, inside this same room, you'll find a key on the desk. So just pick up that key. And now you can open up the front gate directly in front of you as we entered. And then you'll want to open that gate. And now just basically go to the right-hand side You can go left or right, I think. It might be actually linear, and you might actually only be able to go to the right-hand side. And just climb to the very top of the steps. I'm ignoring all the enemies. You can shoot them if you so desire. And at the very top of the steps, instead of looping around, make sure you look into the little alcove here on the right-hand side, and you'll find gold collectible number 56. 10 out of 10 for this mission. Feel free to click on screen or use the YouTube description and or comments to find Chapter 8 dig site. Feel free to like the video and subscribe for more content to help me out in the future to make more content for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace!